Okay, please you write down the points for the PRISMA model in literature review.
Sorry, I didn't get. What is it we have to do right now?
PRISMA model. PRISMA model or the literature review.
Okay, so we go and check it. You want us to check it?
Yeah, I will tell you. So please you write down.
Okay.
PRISMA.
P-L-I-S-M-A. Okay, okay.
The full name is Preferred Reporting Items for Systematic Reviews and Meta-analysis. I repeat, preferred reporting items for systematic reviews and meta-analysis. It includes several stages. The first stage is identification. Identification involves defining your research question, and developing search criteria to identify relevant studies. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Mona Lisa, please repeat what I told.
Sir, PRISMA model, that is preferred items for preferred
reporting. P for preferred, R for reporting.
Reporting. Okay.
I for items.
Yes, sir. Preferred reporting items for systematic reviews and meta-analysis, which includes several stages. Stage 1 is identification. Identification involves defining your research questions and developing search criteria for defining relevant studies.
To identify relevant studies.
Yes, sir.
Next step, screening. In this stage, you review the search results. To exclude studies that don't meet your inclusion criteria.
Done, sir.
Okay, Anjali, can you tell me what I told?
Yes, sir. In stage 2, so after identification, the stage is screening. In this stage, you review the search results to exclude studies that don't meet your inclusion criteria.
Very good. Third stage, eligibility. After screening, you assess the full text of potentially relevant studies to determine their eligibility for inclusion in your review. Nimrat, can you tell?
Yes, sir. So after the screening is done, eligibility is the third dimension. It is to assess the full text of potentially relevant studies to determine their eligibility for inclusion in the review.
Correct. Number 4, inclusion. It includes studies that meet your predefined criteria in your systematic review or meta-analysis. It includes studies that meet your predefined criteria in your systematic review or meta-analysis. Mona Lisa, please repeat.
The fourth stage is inclusion. It includes studies that meet your predefined criteria in your systematic review or meta-analysis.
Correct. Number 5, data extraction. Extract relevant data from the included studies such as study characteristics, methods, and results. Anjali, please repeat.
So fifth stage is data extraction. It includes extracting the relevant data from the included studies, such as study characteristics, methods, and results.
Correct. Number 6, quality assessment. evaluate the quality and risk of bias in the included studies. Nimrat, please repeat.
Yeah, so the sixth is quality assessment, which is looking at, we evaluate the quality and the risk of bias in the studies that we include.
Correct. Number 7, data synthesis. Synthesize the data from the included studies either qualitatively bracket narrative synthesis or quantitatively bracket meta-analyses. Okay, Mona Lisa, please repeat.
Data analysis, data synthesis. In this case, synthesize the data from the included studies either qualitatively, that is narrative synthesis, or quantitatively, that is meta-analysis.
Correct. Number 8, results presentation. Present your findings in a clear and transparent manner. Comma. Typically using tables figures and written summary. Okay, Anjali.
Yes, sir. So stage 8 is result presentation. Present your findings in a clear and transparent manner, typically using tables, figures, and detailed summary.
Correct. 9, discussion. Interpret the results. Discuss their implications. And provide recommendations. For future research. Okay, now Nimrod, please.
Yes, sir. So the ninth step is discussion, which includes interpreting results and discussing their implication and providing recommendation on future research.
Yes. Number 10, conclusion. Summarize the main findings and their relevance
And
to
their
research question and their relevance to the research question. Now, Mona Lisa.
their conclusion summarize the main findings and their relevance to research questions.
Correct. Number 11, references. Provide a complete list of references for all included studies. Anjali, please repeat.
Yes, references. Provide a complete list of references for all included studies.
So these 11 steps are there. This is for PRISMA. Nowadays, when you apply anywhere for PhD, they will ask you about whether you know PRISMA or not. Okay, so please you follow the PRISMA model. Now you read it. Now you read it thoroughly. If you have any problem, you can ask me. Have you done?
I have one question
Okay.
about the stage 6 of quality assessment.
Quality assessment, yes.
Yes. So when we will evaluate the studies, and suppose we found some studies, like most of the studies will have some kind of limitations, right? So on what basis we will select some studies and reject some studies? Does, like, because many of the things will not be there in the inclusion criteria as well, and we already passed the stage of including those studies only who fulfill our inclusion criteria. So when we are doing this quality assessment, do we that at that time also do we drop some studies, or do we just mention the risk or the biases which are there in some of these studies? That is my confusion.
Yeah, the point is, for example, environmental attitude you are studying. Maybe the environmental attitude one is studying from the medical point of view, or one is doing the research from the nature related point of view. Okay. So the point is, when you are dealing with the natural environment, another one study related to the artificial environment. For example, the building, okay, the house, etc. So this is the artificial environment, and natural environment is different. Now, if your interest is on the natural environment, so all the studies will be related to the natural environment, not the artificial environment.
Yes.
Otherwise, you will be in trouble. So that is the inclusion and the exclusion criteria.
So then what about quality assessment? Because that will be the inclusion and exclusion criteria, right?
Yeah, sometimes if you find that is in your archive or in your whatever the literature you have reviewed, and there are some studies which are related to the exclusion criteria. So that, and you think that is okay. The presence of that particular study is important, but to understand some issues of the environment. Okay, so in that context, you can write down. That is, I have included this particular study because this study helps me to understand this another concept.
Okay, but we will mention the bias which could be there, something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, so I have one example in my mind. We were just discussing about the review also, the studies which we have reviewed. So in that there was one study on pro-environmental attitude also. In that they compared two countries, students of two countries, in Italy and Croatia. And in that, what they have done is they have studied both like students from Italy, students from Croatia, and on their study majors. So they have divided that some students who have taken humanities and some students who have taken business studies. Okay, so like basically from Italy also there were students who have taken humanities and business studies, then again from Croatia humanities and business studies. And the moderating role of the higher education between their study majors and their pro-environmental attitude.
Yeah, so that you can write down.
Yeah, so that part we can write down. But in the same study, they have mentioned the limitation was that the sample was unequal in terms of the gender. they have taken more female students and less male students, and very like it is unequal. I don't remember the numbers. I have written it in the.
Yeah,
So that kind of limitation will be
under your comment section. Your
comment
personal comment will be in the table.
Yeah.
In the table of literature review, there will be one
sir.
personal comment, and there you can write your personal comment.
No, that is okay, sir. I'm asking in terms of this PRISMA model. So this point could be mentioned in the quality assessment thing.
Yeah, quality
Suppose
assessment stage.
like that. The risk of bias. So we can just mention and take the relevant part and include it in our results as well of the same stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, understood.
So this data synthesis, is it clear to all of you?
So I had one more question. So in the screening stage, when we talk about we exclude studies which do not meet our criteria. So how specific do we should we be in terms of what is going to be our criteria? Because there can be so many things that can come and intervene. So how does one? I mean, what could be typically the exclusion criteria for our kind of study?
Yeah, for our kind of study, there are two types of environment there. One is the natural environment, another one is the artificial environment. So if you want to concentrate on the artificial environment, then you can remove the in natural environment. And if you are interested for the natural environment, then you have to think about the only natural environment, and exclusion will be the artificial environment.
Okay.
It is up to you in which way you want to design.
And then that other one, inclusion criteria, the fourth one. How would you give an example for that in this?
Yeah, it is written include studies that meet your predefined criteria in your systematic review or meta-analysis. Now, when you are thinking about this is your inclusion and the exclusion criteria, so based upon that, you have to keep all the literature within this inclusion area. Because you have already defined the criteria. In your systematic review or meta-analysis. Meta-analysis is quantitative technique. Narrative analysis is better, at least in our course.
Yeah, so about the data synthesis step.
Yeah, the
So
data synthesis, it is clearly written. That is, if you can think about the narrative synthesis or the meta-analysis, that is the quantitative thing. If it is quantitatively, then you have to collect the large number of data and also this statistical information. After that, you have to transform the data so that it can be interpreted properly. So that technique is different.
Yeah, like the technique for doing meta-analysis. So my question is for narrative analysis.
Is totally different.
So for narrative analysis, usually
because in our course we are on meta-analysis. Narrative analysis is comfortable based upon your research question. And you always keep on mind what is your research question. What is your research question? Maybe you want to find out that is what is the temperament or what type of personality traits individual have having very high pro-environmental attitude. Suppose this is your research question. Then you have to think, you have to find out that is, these are people, they are having high pro-environmental attitude and their personality is this in comparison with the other groups. I think this is clear to all of you. Hello.
Yes, sir. So now what would be our next step, sir?
Next step I have already written. That is the table.
Okay.
Please, this is your research question and
Okay.
this is the table.
So first, sir, we will have to do the review of literature, keeping in mind this pro-environment attitude, and then
Yeah.
whatever the studies we are picking up and the ideas we are getting, then we could write our research question.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
First one is the literature review.
Right, right.
Two things are important. One, maybe that is there is already one study is there about pro-environmental attitude with some other correlates, and you want to just following that study in the Indian context. That is possible.
Okay.
Okay, because it is your training phase. So this is clear. There is no problem. Another thing that is you have some research insight and you want to study that one. Okay. So if it is like that, so that type of study can be made. But keep in mind that is your time is short. It is not 5 years. So keep in mind that one.
Right, right.
Okay.
So this pro-environmental attitude, the checklist, the one you've given us, we have to use it in its entirety, or we can use a part of it.
Yeah, if you think that is some area, maybe
Which
the
more relevant.
conservation, yeah, maybe you are thinking about only the conservation. So based upon that, you can think some model that you can develop. But provided that is this conservation item should be reliable.
Okay.
In your study.
Okay. Yeah, because we may not want to take all, we may want to take some specific.
Only one part. Only one part.
Okay.
Because in my study, I find that is the reduction is very high among the female people. I do not know why.
Sorry, what does that say that again, sir?
Reduction.
Reduction.
That is very high among the female than the male.
So I didn't get reduction in terms of?
Reduction, for example, that is when you want to leave the room, you switch off.
Right.
Okay. So that means you are reducing the electricity consumption.
Okay.
So this thing is very high among the female in comparison with the male.
Right. Okay. Got it.
So I do not know what is the underlying reason, because if it is related, that is the finance is the important factor. So male must be more concerned with the finance rather than the female. But here I find that is the female are more concerned with the.
No, sir, but actually they are more answerable because when the electricity bill comes or children overspend or they go beyond budget, the father gets upset. So she's responsible. So the conscientiousness score would be pretty high for a woman, even on that big five, I think, when you see it, because she is acting on
So you
behalf
can
of.
think about it. That is
Mhm.
why female people mainly prefer the reduction.
Right.
Again, they are preferring recycling.
Correct.
But
Yes.
again, the age is the factor. Young people, they are not giving much importance on reduction, recycling, etc. But the senior people, they are giving importance on reduction, recycling. So they are more environment friendly. So many things can be done. So it depends upon your own idea.
Yes, yeah. So that's what I wanted to know. We could take a few of these, not all, like
Not all.
environment. Yeah, okay, okay. Right.
Not all.
Okay, wonderful. So now, sir, we need to think and come back to you again, keeping all these criteria in mind. We'll have to again look at the study, then look at what thoughts we have.
Yeah,
Another
so
thing
please
I
you
want.
write down your timeline.
Yes,
Now
yes,
you
yes.
submit your timeline. Otherwise, it will take much time.
Yes, sir.
Already 1 month is over.
Maybe we can have time till next Wednesday, sir.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So can we work together, three of us? Can we give it a thought through our review of literature? If something we are able to collaborate, because the only thing is then we can extend the study to more people. I'm looking at it more in terms of, we are all working in colleges, UG, PG. So we may be able to get more data. That's the thing. So what do you feel about that, sir?
Yeah, that is vital. But please you collect the reliable data. I have
Yes.
874 data now. I am working on it.
Okay.
So I have
When you
collected
say
from different
relevant,
colleges.
so sir, when you say relevant, can you throw light on that? What would be irrelevant data?
Irrelevant means if it is not reliable.
Like many times students just for the sake of completing the questionnaire, they'll tick anywhere and something like that.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
think
yeah.
that-
That is
But
true.
how do we check that? That's difficult to check, no, because we don't have any way to check that.
No, not
We can-
necessarily. You have to convince the students from whom you will collect the data. That is,
Okay.
we are thinking, that is environmental, whatever I say, the pollution and other things are detrimental to our health. So therefore, we are studying that is the environmental attitude.
Okay.
Today, the G20 is going on. Today, the G20 is also dealing with the environmental issue.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Anything more?
Okay, sir. But thank you, sir. We'll come back to you maybe.
Yeah.
Again. Thank you, sir.
Just look at Mona Lisa. Totally environment friendly environment.
Wow.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Best wishes to all of you.